All right, today we're going to unpack one of the most important and, let's be honest, complex documents on the entire planet. So let's just dive right in. Okay, I want to start with a question for you. Think about it for a sec. What do you think is the single most important book for over 1.4 billion people in India? Is it a religious text, maybe a classic novel? What's the one book that actually sets the rules for everybody? It's actually this one, the Constitution of India. Seriously, you can think of it as the nation's ultimate rulebook. I mean, this is the foundational document that lays out how the entire country runs, from the Prime Minister's office all the way down to the rights of a single citizen walking down the street. All right, so just how powerful is this rulebook really? Well, to put it simply, it is the supreme law of the land. It establishes the rules of the game for the entire nation. But here's the thing, a constitution isn't just a long list of laws. No, it's the very source of all law. It's what sets up the entire framework for the government. It's what protects your rights as a citizen, and it makes sure that everyone, and I mean everyone, including the government itself, has to play by the rules. If any law is passed that goes against the Constitution, poof, it can be struck down. So where did this incredible document even come from? I mean, it didn't just appear out of thin air, right? It was actually the result of a long historic struggle for self-governance. Let's take a look at who actually wrote this thing. And at the very heart of this huge, monumental effort was one man, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. As the chairman of the drafting committee, he was basically the chief architect. It was his job to shape a constitution that truly reflected the ideals of a brand new, independent, and just India. And this whole journey, it took years. It all kicked off back in 1946 when the Constituent Assembly first met. A year after that, in 47, the Special Drafting Committee was formed to really shape the text. Then, after almost 3 years of super intense debates and discussions, the final Constitution was adopted in 1949. And then, the big day, January 26, 1950. That's when it officially came into force. And that's the day India truly became a republic. Okay, so every great rulebook needs a mission statement, right? A core philosophy. For India's constitution, that's the preamble. You can really think of it as the mission statement of India, the nation's promise, all laid out in one incredibly powerful paragraph. And it starts with maybe the 3 most powerful words in any democracy: we the people. Now, this makes an absolutely crucial point. The power, the authority of this constitution, it doesn't come from a king or some foreign power or even the government. Nope, it comes directly from us, the citizens of India. And the preamble makes some really big promises. The first one, that India is sovereign. What does that mean? It's simple, really. It means India is an independent nation. It's in charge of its own destiny, totally free to make its own decisions without any external control. Next up, it promises a secular state, and this is a really foundational principle. All it means is that the state, the government, doesn't favor any one religion over another. It has to treat all faiths equally. It's all about guaranteeing religious freedom for every single citizen. And finally, it establishes India as a democratic republic. Let's break that down. Democratic, that's the easy part, right? It means the government is elected by the people. We vote for it. And republic, that means the head of state, in India's case, the president, is also an elected official, not some king or queen who inherited the job. Okay, so we've got the mission statement down. Now let's get into the real nitty-gritty. What are the actual rules of the game for you, the citizen, and for the government that's supposed to serve you? The Constitution is all about striking a crucial balance. Imagine a scale. On one side, you've got your rights. These are the things the nation guarantees to you to protect your freedom and dignity. But on the other side, you have your duties. These are the things you owe back to the nation. It's a two-way street. So let's talk about those rights. These core protections are called the fundamental rights. There are 6 of them. They guarantee things like equality, freedom, protection from exploitation, freedom of religion, and so on. But maybe the most important one is the last one, the right to constitutional remedies. Think of this as the master key. It means if any of your other rights are violated, you can actually go to court to get them enforced. Now, to make sure no one part of the government gets too powerful, the Constitution is super smart. It divides power between 3 main pillars. First, you have the legislature, that's Parliament, and their job is to make the laws. Then you have the executive, that's the government, and their job is to implement the laws. And finally, you have the judiciary, the courts, and their job is to interpret the laws. It's a brilliant system of checks and balances.
Okay, but wait a minute. This whole thing was written over 70 years ago, so why does it still matter so much today? Well, the answer is amazing. It was designed from the very beginning to be a living document.
So, back when it was first adopted in 1950, the Constitution had 395 articles. That was already a massive, massive document. But here's the thing, that was just the beginning. Fast forward to today, and that number is now over 450. And that's not just about it being a bigger book. No, it's proof that the Constitution isn't some dusty old document frozen in time. It was built to grow, to adapt, and to evolve right along with the country. So how does it grow? Through something called amendments. Just look at the 42nd Amendment back in 1976. It was so huge, it made so many changes that people literally call it a mini-constitution. It's this power to amend that lets the rulebook adapt and stay relevant for a constantly changing India. You know, its chief architect, Dr. Ambedkar, said it perfectly. He said, "The Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It is a vehicle of life." I love that. He meant its spirit is always supposed to be the spirit of the age. It's meant to live and breathe with us. And that brings us to a final question for you to think about. If this is the ultimate rulebook for the whole nation, what's the one rule, the one right or duty or principle that you think is the most important for building a strong and fair society? Really give it some thought.